I only handed death a business card. After that, no matter whether I was struck by a cable carrying tens of thousands of volts or crushed by 200 tons of steel, I would miraculously survive every time. I even gained eyes that could see ghosts. And all of this started 1 month earlier. At the time, I was still working as a lawyer at a law firm when my older brother suddenly called me and said, "There's no time to explain, quit your job right now." When I went downstairs to see what was going on, my brother, who hadn't even finished elementary school, was actually sitting in a luxury car worth tens of millions. I hurriedly got into the car and asked what was happening, but he only told me to fasten my seatbelt. Then he floored the gas, and the car shot forward at insane speed. I quickly said the car was going a bit too fast, but he replied, "A good car is meant to be driven like this." Before long, we arrived at the destination. I completely collapsed. Because I believed my brother's nonsense, I quit my job and went all in trading crypto with my savings, only to lose everything I was supposed to live on for the rest of my life. My brother walked away without a problem, leaving me alone to face the mortgage, the car loan, and a wife who wanted a divorce. And the only thing I could do was...
내가 잘할게.
Soon, some good news came. My good friend Xiaopeng told me to take the labor service certification exam, saying he'd arrange a job for me afterward. What a true brother. I studied like crazy, spending 24 hours a day doing practice questions. Finally, within a month, I got the labor certificate. But then Xiaopeng got into trouble.
과장님 그만두셨어요. 고충 상담하러 온 직원 고민 들어준다고 술 마시러 가셨다가 여기서 일이 좀 있었는데 피해자가 사내 게시판에 성추행으로 터뜨려가지고
I was on the verge of a breakdown. How could a government employee harass a female colleague?
여직원 아니고 남자 직원.
뭐니까 잡는 거야.
In the end, my last remaining friend tried to persuade me. "Anyway, you're almost 50, he said. "What's the difference between that and being dead? You might as well open your own labor service agency." In the end, I decided to gamble on it. And one night, completely drunk on my way home, I took out a business card and placed it into the hand of a statue. From that moment on, my fate began to change. However, a month passed, and not only did the company land 0 deals, it had also been started with 3 online loans, leaving me buried in debt. After that, my only employee made a suggestion. Since registered labor inspectors are allowed to privately visit companies, he could secretly film safety hazards, and then threaten to expose them, to extort a huge amount of hush money. But I had no interest in that kind of shady income.
이게 되네.
In just one morning, we visited several companies. Of course, I wasn't doing it for the money, but to help those companies fix their safety issues. Soon, we arrived at the last factory. At that moment, a hanging lock behind me knocked over a forklift, and hundreds of tons of steel came crashing down toward me. At the very moment I was about to die, I entered a pure white space, and standing in front of me, besides a man in work clothes who claimed to be death, were 2 labor contracts. I was about to ask where this was, but he said that every second, I was about to ask what that meant when 2 contracts suddenly appeared in front of me. He said I was supposed to die today, and that as long as I signed one of the agreements, he could save my life. Even though I didn't understand what was happening, staying alive mattered more. I was terrified by everything that had happened. My younger sister suggested switching to a different factory, but I was no longer in the mood to make money because I had just gone through something strange. My sister was startled by my reaction, but what I wanted to say was, "Can't you see it?" She kept telling me to stop messing around, saying it wasn't funny, but I wanted to say that this wasn't funny either. Just when I thought it was all an illusion, after I returned to the company, he actually followed me back. My sister was still asking where the ghost was, but he was sitting right next to you. Zhao Yu even wanted to make an episode about ghosts, saying it would definitely go viral. Only then did I realize that none of them believed me. With no other choice, I sat down in front of the ghost and asked him what grievance he had. Ming Shu was born in the countryside. After graduating from high school, he entered a factory arranged by the school for an internship. The internship lasted a year, and if you performed well, you could become a full employee. What Ming Shu didn't expect was that the promised off-site housing turned out to be a shipping container. Ming Shu's position was maintenance technician. After a senior handed him a maintenance manual, the man quit. After that, Ming Shu devoted himself entirely to the job. Whenever his mother asked, he always said the factory was great, the work was easy, the living conditions were good, and the food at the factory was good too. He told his mom not to worry and said he had even made a foreign friend there.
형님,
It was only when I replayed the video that I realized I had been frozen in place the whole time. After going through all that, I could even see ghosts.
형님.
I was literally beaten awake. When I replayed their footage, I realized that when I read a dead person's memories, I would freeze in place, even if I got whipped 611 times. After I told the two of them everything I had seen, my sister didn't believe me at all. But Xiao Yu actually found someone like that online, and he really was already dead. In order to find out the truth, we contacted the victim's mother through a journalist. We learned that the victim's father had died young, leaving his mother to raise him alone, only for something like this to happen in the end. When we couldn't get any more clues from that, we turned our attention again to the factory that had made me pee my pants. Since my sister and I had already been recognized last time, this time only Xiao Yu could go in. After reading his resume, the boss's son was very satisfied with Xiao Yu. Soon, Xiao Yu was assigned to the foreign workers group. I remembered that foreign worker. He might know the truth. However, as soon as Xiao Yu entered the company, he was exposed because of his short videos. At this moment, Xiao Yu handed Mingshu's diary to Nemo. The diary not only recorded his life, but also Mingshu's hopes for the future. Just then, Xiao Yu ran into the boss. He hurriedly turned his face away, but the boss was clearly coming straight for him.
공장까지는 어떻게 왔고?
버스 타고. 여기는 버스 정장 없는데?
이 자식 이거 수사가 안 돼. 야, 너 대체 뭐 하는 놈이야?
Seeing that things were going bad, we hurriedly started the car. Inside the factory, chaos had already broken out, and everyone rushed toward Xiao Yu. Seeing this, Xiao Yu grabbed onto a hook, but unexpectedly, a forklift charged straight at him. Xiao Yu let go and landed on the roof of a car. The driver panicked and yanked the steering wheel, causing the forklift to spin rapidly, before finally being flung away violently. At that critical moment, I drove up just in time. Just as we were about to drive off, a police car blocked our way. I quickly explained that we were there to investigate the wrongful death of a high school student, but the boss said we were talking nonsense.
시키지도 않은 일을 한다고 깝치다가 대진 애새끼까지 회사가 신경 써야 돼? 그게 무슨 일인 새끼 아니야?
Nemo couldn't hold it in any longer and stepped forward. Mingshu had originally planned to go home, but was ordered by the workshop supervisor to stay and work overtime. While repairing the machine, Mingshu got his body stuck. After learning about it, the boss actually wanted to drive the workers away and wait until Mingshu died before sending him to the hospital. Then Nemo produced video evidence. A few days later, the incident made the news, and the boss was arrested. Although the work was exhausting, it was extremely fulfilling. And just at that moment, a loud crash sounded above my head. Fire broke out at a factory in South Korea. 8 workers were trapped inside the blaze. When the fire started, not only was there no water in the fire sprinkler system, the fire extinguishers were also expired. They desperately fled into a hospital afterward, but no matter how loudly they shouted, no one responded to them because I was the only one who could see them. A few days earlier, after I was electrocuted to death, Death signed a contract with me. As long as I stood up for justice for those workers, I would be able to come back to life. And since I was originally a labor consultant, I decisively accepted the contract. After that, I brought them back to the company while the news was reporting on the fire. The workers said that when the fire broke out, not only did the sprinklers have no water, but all the emergency exits were blocked as well. After being knocked unconscious by the thick smoke, they were burned alive inside. After Xiao Yu looked it up online, he discovered that this factory had also caught fire 3 years ago. Although the legal representative of the company went to prison, the company continued operating after switching to a new representative. Clearly, there was a real boss behind the scenes. At this moment, that boss was raging in a conference room. The reason was that the legal representative taking the fall this time had actually run away in advance. The fleeing representative went to the police station to turn himself in. The officer who received him knew him, so he told him to go back, say goodbye to his family, and have a good meal before coming back. And when he walked out of the police station, Choi-sik was so frightened that his whole body trembled. That man told him to go hide somewhere and not worry about anything else. Obviously, he wanted Choi-sik to take all the blame. So Choi-sik quietly unbuckled his seatbelt, then yanked the steering wheel hard. The car immediately swerved wildly through the streets. As the driver slammed on the brakes, Choi-sik instantly opened the door and vanished into the passing crowd. The next day, Xiao Yu unexpectedly received a call from Choi-sik. He said he wanted to meet Xiao Yu in person. It turned out that Xiao Yu had exposed the full truth of the fire, using an account with over 1 million followers. After seeing this, Choi-sik wanted to seek their help, but the timing felt a little too perfect. It could very well be a trap. Still, Xiao Yu felt that even if it was a trap, they had to go, because once the families signed a settlement agreement, the matter would be considered closed. Of course, the one going to the meeting wasn't Xiao Yu, it was me. After all, I had a god backing me up. I soon arrived at the address that was sent, and the 8 workers came along with me. They wanted to borrow my body for a bit, planning to make Choi-sik apologize to them first.
5분이면 돼! 한 대만 제대로 때려도 나 원이 없겠어! 아유 진짜! 죄송합니다!
This scene completely stunned me. If you can do this, why do you even need my body? At that moment, Choi-sik was fleeing in panic, but no matter where he ran, an earthquake followed right behind him. Next, the workers transformed themselves into a tornado, blowing Choi-sik up into the air and then slamming him hard onto the ground. North Korea's latest passenger jet was actually heading straight towards Seoul, South Korea. Just before crashing into a building, the plane managed to veer off, but it still couldn't stop its descent. Under the horrified stares of the crowd, it slammed hard into the streets of Seoul. At that moment, my girlfriend and I were on our way to the nearest hotel when suddenly a pedestrian slammed into my car, shattering the front windshield. An eyeball actually landed on my girlfriend's shoulder. Even more terrifying, she calmly picked it up and held it in both hands, asking me, "What should we do?" How would I know what to do? That alone was horrifying enough, but my girlfriend was somehow even more terrifying. After the eyeball fell to the ground, she said she was extremely disappointed in me. What the fuck? Can I still keep this girlfriend? Then I remembered I needed to call the insurance company. My girlfriend noticed the man wasn't completely dead yet, while I was scared stiff all over again. At that moment, my outrageously fearless girlfriend got out of the car, picked up the fallen eyeball, put it into a plastic bag, and gently placed it on the roof of the car. Then she actually shouted at me to get out and help save him. Oh my god. It was already a miracle that I didn't flee the scene. Shouldn't we be waiting for the traffic police and an ambulance? Next, my girlfriend started asking the surrounding onlookers for help. Standing at the front of the crowd, a bespectacled guy watching the scene while eating a hot dog was immediately singled out by her. The crowd began to cheer and urge him on, pushing him to go help. But the moment he took off his glasses, my girlfriend recognized him. He was South Korea's hottest tennis star. After being recognized, he tried to leave, but the crowd surrounded him. Even at a moment like this, they were still obsessed with celebrity worship, constantly telling him to look at the cameras. In the end, under the pressure of the cameras, Park-sik barely joined the rescue. But in my view, the pedestrian who smashed into my car was already practically meeting God. Yet my girlfriend, whose brain clearly lived in outer space, actually decided to destroy the accident scene and did it by yanking the injured man out, like pulling a carrot from the ground. Right after that, they proceeded to inflict secondary injuries on the poor victim. Without even checking whether he was still alive, they immediately started performing CPR on him. This is the morning rush hour that happens every day in Seoul, South Korea. To squeeze onto the subway that's about to arrive, people surge toward the doors like a raging tide. The glass panels on the platform begin to make unsettling noises. Just over 10 minutes earlier, we had followed instructions over the radio and come to the only underground station that could lead to a shelter. But it wasn't just us who had the same idea. The subway passageways were already packed with people. Maybe because no fare was required, more and more people kept rushing toward the trains. We followed the flow of the crowd as well. What I didn't know was that Death's scythe was about to swing down on everyone here. Soon, I reached the platform with my girlfriend, but it was already completely overcrowded. Then a train packed with passengers sped past. The crowd complained that it didn't stop, yet it also gave everyone a sense of hope. I dragged my girlfriend forward, desperately squeezing toward the platform doors. Before long, we reached the front. I kept reminding her to stay close to me no matter what. After all, this girlfriend of mine, whose courage grows out of her forehead, and whose brain has flown into outer space, might do something unpredictable at any moment. Soon, the train was about to arrive. As the announcement echoed through the station, the once relatively calm crowd suddenly went insane, surging violently toward the platform doors. As if by some cruel twist of fate, my girlfriend and I were gradually forced apart by the pressure of the crowd. Could do was cling tightly to her hands and keep trying to calm her down. But in the end, we were still torn apart. Countless faces were pressed against the glass. Then came the sound of shattering glass. When the train doors finally opened, the survivors once again became frenzied. As most people poured into the carriage, my girlfriend was still desperately searching for me. In the end, kind passengers inside the train pulled her in. But right after that, an elderly man appeared in front of us, leading a young boy by the hand. My girlfriend, who has a talent for doing stupid things, once again made a foolish choice. She gave up her own chance to live and handed it to that boy instead. As the doors closed, the old man kept comforting the anxious child. As the train began to move, the boy slowly disappeared from our sight. And at that very moment, we witnessed a scene of absolute terror.